Is Amazon really worth it? That's my title today for Pushing Technology to the Limit. Is Amazon really worth it? All the frustration I've had to go through to get these antennas set up. This is a small update on the installation of two HD antennas. I wanted to show you something today. I just received it last night. This mast was supposed to work with that small aerial I got, and as I showed you on the last video, that the standard mast would not work. I'll show you again, and actually I'll put a repeat of what was going on because I've actually taken the antenna apart a little bit to be able to handle it easier. I've unscrewed the mast from the rotor off this little cheap antenna. And again, just to show you, this is that antenna that I bought. It's where I took it right off the bottom here. Now, since my last video, I noticed something, that this piece right here is smaller than the top. I have no idea why. This is a 5-foot mast. It works pretty good for what I need. But we'll see. Will this fit on this? This is the first time I've tried this. I haven't tried it until I did this video shoot. Almost. Not quite. So I don't know what this little small piece is for, but this is actually upside down compared to the way I had it before. So as you see, there's this little warning sticker, and this is the right side up, and I had it from the bottom side. The other night, when I ordered this pipe off from Amazon, I actually called the store to make sure that this would be the right size for this Yogi antenna, or Yagi, however you say it. I think it's either Y-A-G-I or Y-O-G-O, or however you say it. I don't have the box up here, so I can't really show you, because I did finally find the name of this aerial on the box, and I looked it up on the internet as well. So this piece here does not go at all with this antenna. It just goes right off, just like the standard. Actually, this pipe is bigger than the standard pipe. I'm actually going to show you this, that I can actually slide this pipe right onto this. It holds not really too firmly, but you would need to drill some holes on the side here to bolt your mast. Now that works pretty good. I mean, it's sturdy enough, but not for the outside. Now we're going to try to put these pipes together, and I'm going to use this pipe on this standard mast. I also got two sets of U-bolts. This one's actually, I think this one came with that lower end antenna, and it's cheap, and you can tell it's cheap. This is the one I got from the Channel Master antenna, and it's really nice, and it's an expensive part. You also can see that there's little teeth on this side compared to this U-bolt, which does not have any gripping teeth around the bolt itself. So this pipe does come with the U-bolt connections. I forgot to say one thing about this unit. It does not come with any hardware to install it on your mast or your wall. So you need to buy all hardware separate from this unit. I just finger tightened the bolts just to see if it would work, and it does bolt perfectly. I mean, it's not sturdy enough for the actual outdoors and all that, but it's not too bad. The only thing is, if you want to see what there's a problem with it, is that you cannot bolt this and this standard pipe together. You'd have to have a super duper long U-bolt to do that. And these customized ones for the standard mast will not work. Now before I actually take this extra mast off my standard mast, I'm going to actually show you something. This one right here was the hardest to get on, especially if you want to have the teeth gripping your pole. That's going to make a sturdier connection so it doesn't slide down your pole in the winter, or if you're in a windy area for that matter. And not some people that you may be watching this and you have nice weather all the time, like in the southern states. And so I basically would say to get this thing on first and then go for the top, because then with the top you can just slide it down over the pole. And you can't see the top of the pole too well, but you can slide the top piece over and slide it down. And this one was easier to get on because of the top. And then you just put your big antenna, the one that's not the small one, right here. I need a little more room than what I gave myself. If you want to mount two standard, or not really standard, but just one standard pipe to this one, to the standard mast, I'm going to show you. These U-bolts will not fit on it, especially once you get your teeth in place to do so. You got very little room to make that work. So the only best bet that you have to work with is if you make your own U-bolts, which Lowe's told me last night that they do supply their own U-bolts, that you can actually cut them to size, which would work with this mast and this antenna mast. Now this mast, from what I gather from what the internet says, that this is for satellite dishes and Wi-Fi access points, outdoor access points, and because of the bolts here. And it goes right through the pipe here. I don't know if you can see that or not. So there's those holes and those holes. So you can just run a screw right through it and onto the other side for mounting your satellite. So I don't know, I almost think that this is meant for satellite dishes, but I do think it will work for my antenna project. So far it seemed to. And I can actually take this pole so basically I have the 3/4 inch pipe mounted to this humongous one. So this one will work, just not your standard mast. You would actually have to put that in this pipe right here and then mount it this way between these screw holes. So it would work if you needed it, if you don't want to be on your roof, but you probably still have to get up on the roof and have somebody hang on to it, and somebody on the below drop it in this pole and screw everything down in. But it looks like it's a nice unit. It's just that it's falsely advertised as what the size says, and that's what was really confusing. And I was confused when I bought it. This antenna mast for that small UHF VHF HD TV antenna. I'll show you that one right here. I'll get a little closer shot for you. I have gone through 2 masts so far trying to get this thing installed on my roof. I cannot find a mast on Amazon to mount this to. They don't have it. Last night I went to Lowe's in the next neighboring town to me, and just bought a copper piece of pipe. I actually took this part over and I asked the guy, I said, do you have anything that will fit that? It's a standard mast will not work. So I said, all I need is a foot, and come to find out, all you need is 3/4 inch pipe to make this work. So now I can just put this thing on. Now I just slide it on a little bit so I can just hang on to it and then turn it. I still got to put the other side in here. I took that out so I could just take it over. Look at that. It's sturdy. And I even did a search this morning on Amazon to actually find out if they have 3/4 inch pipe. Doesn't exist on Amazon. So that's why my question is it worth it to get all your antenna parts at Amazon? Now I'll say, for one, yes, the standard mast is worth it. That works fine. The antenna is fine. But for these little cheap antennas, it's not worth it. Now, the antenna itself works. I'm happy with that. But the frustration part is the website does not tell you what pipe you need to mount this thing on. They just kind of leave it blank. I didn't see anywhere on that website where if this would work on a standard mast or if you had to have a smaller mast. Amazon does not sell a small mast to actually fit this antenna. You might have to go to, like I said, Lowe's to get a part like this to put up on your roof to make it so if you want to make your antenna both for installation with two antennas. So basically this is just a video to warn you about when you are putting up your antennas, whether you're putting up one or you're putting up two, just to be aware of Amazon. Now, it's still a good store. I like them. I'd still shop there. But as far as the specialized installation I'm doing on my house, I wouldn't recommend the mast unless you want the standard one like I have right here. That's a 5-foot Channel Master mast from Amazon for 15 bucks at the time that I bought this. That's good. This unit is nice. It would have been better if they just let me know what the sizes were of this pipe was. Now, there's one thing I didn't show you early in the video, that this actually has a loosening spot on it where you can actually move it up and down, which is nice. And most antenna masts wouldn't allow you to do that, and this gives you more flexibility to install it and have both antennas working fine. I like Amazon. Amazon's good for the antennas. I don't know if I would really get this cheaper one again, that Yagi antenna, just because it was so difficult to get everything I needed to install the thing. From what I would do is just get two big antennas and put it onto this big pole here and have your rotor or whatever and go from there. What I plan to do is to make my mast, the one that connects down to the house, I'm going to put that in my rotor, and then I'm going to actually turn both pipes at once so that wherever when I'm trying to adjust, I can just adjust it. And what's nice about that cheaper one is that it actually has its own rotor, so I can rotate it back to where I need to go, and I don't have to worry about whatever the other station is I'm trying to tune in, but I can always get the other rotor back. So that's just my personal opinion about the antenna project, is that has been more frustrating trying to get the right parts through Amazon than it was just to go to Lowe's or some shop that sells antennas. Now, you're going to pay a lot more for a mast at some stereo shop, or I'm not sure where else they sell antennas, but except for Amazon, that you're gonna pay just a little bit more for the pipes and parts and all that than you would just on Amazon. But you're taking more of a chance of getting frustrated and throwing your stuff out the door because you're mad at it. And I'm just frustrated, but I'm not mad. But it's just, I know it's just taking longer than I wanted. That's all it really is. And so I hope you enjoyed this video, and just take my advice on some of those things, that you can't get everything on the internet. It's better to visualize it at the store than to try to figure out if that photo is right on the internet, because a lot of times those photos on the internet, doesn't matter if it's Amazon or if it's some other website, if they don't have the right measurements, I mean, they can put like a measurement down and it's totally wrong. They might be only giving you the size for this big pole, but they're not giving you the actual opening size of this. And this is bigger than the Channel Master mast. So that's I am going to keep doing some videos until I finally get the antennas on my roof and working. I'll see you next time on Push Technology to the Limit.